Rams just won the offseason even more than they already did. Find out now on King's Corner. Welcome to King's Corner. I'm your host, Christian King. Today we're going to be going over what happened on June 1st in the NFL. For my first episode in 5 years, I wanted to cover the NBA, the finals, the preview, what the Thunder had going on, but we're going to have to save that for a future episode. Wow, what a day in the NFL. Myles Garrett, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, who just had 23 sacks, record-setting, by the way, was just traded to the Los Angeles Rams for 3 picks, a first this year, a second next year, and a third-round pick in 3 years. And then they also got Jared Verse. And a lot of people are like, wow, that's a lot to give up for Myles Garrett, but no, it's not. That's a generational pass rusher, and he just set the NFL record, as I mentioned a second ago, in sacks. And that's even more impressive because the Browns were losing so much last year. A lot of times when you see these sack records, it comes in when teams are up by a lot. It did not happen this year. He set it on a team that was trailing. What do you think he's about to do on a team that's always up like the Rams? The Rams have already made a bunch of moves this offseason in getting their defense better. They got Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson from the Chiefs. Their defense last year was good before they even got these pieces. And now you add in Myles Garrett. This defense from top to bottom has a chance to be historically great. If, and this is a major if, Chris Shula knows what he's doing. And at the beginning of the year, I thought he did, but now I'm a little skeptical, but I still think he could be great. But this was a tremendous move by the Rams. Myles Garrett's about to change life in Los Angeles. And everybody's like, Los Angeles is a basketball city, and I understand that. But wait until you see what happens when the Rams start winning at a historic rate. You can say what you want about the Lakers this, Lakers that, and it's always going to be a Lakers town. But the Lakers aren't going to be as great next year. And now the Rams are going to be this good. Injuries aside, of course. But you've got to be excited for where they're heading. But let's now move on to our next team. The New York Giants added 3 receivers today. They added Odell Beckham. Welcome home, Odell. Juju Smith-Schuster and Braxton Berrios. And out of all those moves, everyone's looking at the one, of course, in Odell Beckham. It is ridiculous that he's now back in New York. And I'm ecstatic. I'm a Commanders fan, but you got to be happy to see it. Odell in New York, it just feels right. He's meant to be in New York. New York's home to him. But I will say it also should concern some people. I know the Giants said today they're hopeful that Malik Neighbors can be back to week 1, but you don't sign 3 receivers if you think he's going to be back week 1. And I'm a little skeptical to see what's going to happen. I'm hoping the Giants can be good this year. Somewhat good. Commanders fan still. But I've got to wait to see it, and I don't know how I feel about this receiving core without Malik Neighbors. Even with all the new pieces they added today, I'm still a little skeptical. But let's go to the next move. Now, this one hasn't been announced yet, but this is the move that everyone's been waiting for all season, ever since the end of last season where there was a dispute between him and his quarterback. A.J. Brown has been traded to the New England Patriots for a first-round pick in 2028, and I got to say I love this move for the Eagles. I cannot believe the Patriots gave up that much for A.J. Brown. I know A.J. Brown is a good receiver, but whenever he's a head case. And whenever you have these head case receivers, you have to be very cautious with them. And I'm not sure how I feel about giving up a first-round pick for that. I know he could be a game changer. And maybe Vrabel says, when he's with me, he's not that much of a head case, and that'd be correct. But he's also aging. And I love the Eagles receiving core. If this was still the old Eagles system, I'd say the Eagles lost this trade. No worries about it. But Sean Mannion, I know he's never called plays, but it's been a theme this offseason. We're going to get into this. Future episode, I'm going to go through all the off seasons of all the teams, rank them how I think, and I'm going to give you guys inside information on what I think's happening. But I love Sean Mannion. I'll get into that more later. But the system that he runs, it's a zone offense, like the Niners, like the Rams, like the Packers, where he's from. And you don't need these big physical receivers like an A.J. Brown. They can help like Devontae Adams does, and they do love them, but you don't need them. This receiving core, Devontae Smith, Malachi Lemon, and Hollywood Brown, they don't need A.J. This is a good receiving room, as well as Dallas Goedert at tight end, and they have a good offensive line still as well as Saquon. Getting A.J. out of there actually is going to open things up, and I think it's going to allow Jalen Hurts to finally say, hey, we don't need to run the system that I've always been good in. It's time for me to adapt. And if that happens, the Eagles are going to be very, very dangerous this season. You have a chance to see Jalen Hurts look the best he has in his entire career if he buys into the offense. And early reports are he is, which is tremendous if you're an Eagles fan, and sucks if you're not. Wow, what a day in the NFL. What a day. I will say there's some rumblings that the Commanders might be making a move at receiver over the next couple of days. I don't know if you guys have seen, Brandon Ayuk has unfollowed everybody on Instagram except 3 people: his wife, Jaden Daniels, and he followed the Washington Commanders. This is huge news if you're a Commanders fan, because the biggest weakness if you're a Commanders fan you're going to say is, well, they don't have a second option at wide receiver. And even though I disagree with that, because I think Chika Okonkwo is about to become a great tight end in this league, I think the Titans brutally misused him. But if they get Brandon Ayuk, as well as already having Terry McLaurin, they drafted a stud of a slot receiver in Antonio Williams. This Commanders offense has a chance to be lethal. This offensive line is underrated. I'm telling you, Josh Connerly, remember the name, he's a first-round pick for the Commanders last year, is going to be an all-pro right tackle this year, as well as Laremy Tunsil is going to make his first ever all-pro this season. David Blau's system I love absolutely to death. It's Ben Johnson's, but I think David Blau is going to have his own wrinkle on it. David Blau has spent time under Kevin O'Connell, great offensive mind in Minnesota. Spent over David Blau and under Ben Johnson in Detroit, great offensive mind. And you saw what he just did with the Bears. This Commanders team has a chance to be dangerous as well, and everybody's sleeping on him because of last season. Well, I'm going to say go ahead and keep sleeping. You ain't going to be asleep for too much longer. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on the moves that happened today. It was a tremendous June 1st. I mean, every time you think the NFL's done, the NFL is going to punch you right upside the head and say, no, we're not. I would love for you guys to tell me in the comments, what's your favorite move? Do you see any other moves happening down the line? And also, it's great to be back. Please like, please subscribe. And until next time, I'm your host. Take care.